welcome you all to today's meeting 5417 of Rotary Club. Here we go. Sarah.
All righty, here we go. If everybody would please stand up and help me in singing, because it doesn't have to be just me. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountains' majesty above the fruited plains. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Thank you all.
Beautiful. You are all in such fine form. All right, I would like to welcome Rotarians and guests. Rotarians with guests today. Sorry, this is it's my first time. Thank you for going. I swear I studied. I want to give a big shout out to Karen. She is over representing Rotary International in Dubai this week at COP28, talking about climate change and transportation. Let's give a shout out to Karen. Wonderful. I know you're going to be watching this when you get back, Karen. We are missing you, and we are so proud of your representation. All right. Today, I want to thank the Downtown Development Committee, chaired by Kathy Collin, for hosting the greeting line. She gets a clap for that. Come on. You guys did great. And the Foundation Board for pouring our wine for us. I know that's going to be a big round of applause. All right, Foundation Board. Now, do you all have your little green dots? I finally got my green dot. I was late, but I got it. Look for your green dot. All right, and I also want to thank the Neurodivergent Youth Empowerment Fund, chaired by Tricia Creason Valencia and Deanna Persai. And then the book club is chaired by Arthur Warsprott. Yeah, a couple smatterings there. All right, and then the photography committee. This is chaired by Carl Silker. Thank you for hosting the table in the lobby. Now, if you're looking for a committee, photography is actively recruiting new members for photography. They will train. So if you're here every week and you love taking photos, jump on into photography committee. They'd love to have you join in the fun. I know we've got a lot of Red Badgers here who might be shopping for committees. All right, and thank you to Lindley Zink for the seasonally on-point treats. We've got gingerbread and women over by the coffee over there, so make sure you pick up your seasonal treat. Thank you, Lindley. All right, and then we've got birthdays this week. Today we have Debbie Caminiti celebrating today. And then all the birthdays, December 2nd through 8th, are right there on the screen. Brian and Holly and Kay, and oh, there's my confidence monitor. Look at that. Really is kind of fun having all these little props up here that I didn't know existed. Jeff Spino, Connie Alvarez, and Jim Hummel. Happy birthday. All righty. Now we'll go to guest introductions. I got ahead of myself. We've got Emily Rubalcaba and Chuck Cantrell. We're going to start on this side. I believe, Chuck, you're over on this side. Do I see Chuck? Or we can start with Emily.
I am not Chuck, but if you'll have me, I'm Johnny Camus.
Johnny Camus, we will always have you. Wonderful, wonderful. Rotarians with guests, please stand so our traveling mics can find you. Got some over here. Here, I'm going to go here in the front of the room, Johnny. And then we'll make our way. Thanks, Emily. Hi, Matt.
Hello, President-elect Heather. Matt Breaker, Prosecutor DA's office. I have here today. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Jim.
You got one fan.
I have today as my guest my lovely wife and Rotarian in spirit, Sid Breaker.
Okay, Sid. Hi, Marv.
Hello, Heather. Marvin Bamberg, architect from Campbell Rotary.
I always love hearing that. Thank you, Marv. I think we've got Audrey up next.
Hello, President-elect President-elect Heather. Audrey Fox, independent consultant for independent schools. My special guest today is my husband, Larry Fox.
Hey, Larry, welcome. Great. Those traveling mics are coming around.
Hi, Heather. You have a friend here who's a friend of mine, so I just wanted to get your attention, and you can introduce her?
Hi, Erin Salazar. Thanks for coming. This is my dear friend, Erin Salazar. She is the executive director and founder of Local Color, and we are so thrilled you're here. Thank you. In the back of the room, I'm sorry, I keep missing you.
I'm Nancy Bavor, former director of the San Jose Museum of Quilts and Textiles, and it gives me great pleasure to introduce the new director, Chris Jensen.
Wonderful.
Who is a local.
I love seeing those arts leaders here in the room. Hello.
Thank you, President-elect Heather. I'm Dave Cowan. I'm in sales training and management training. I bring a great friend of mine. We've been friends for 30 years. We met in Japan. Bob Galino, a marketing consultant.
Welcome, Bob. We hope you come back many times. Looks like we've got Larry Kiekler next. Hi, Larry.
Hello, Heather. President-elect. Congratulations.
Thank you.
My guest today is Yuri Labor. He's a financial advisor with Edward Jones and a longtime resident of San Jose.
Wonderful. Welcome to our club. All right, who's next? I think over here. Hi.
Hi, Ray Castañeda, and my guest today is Carlos Singh. Carlos was a member here with us 10 years ago, but I'll let him say a couple of things.
Briefly, process monitor. Hello, welcome.
Thank you very much, and I'm glad to be here, and I'm looking forward to joining again if you'll have me back.
I'll give you mic time for that. Yes, all right.
And it's sentimental for me because I remember my old friends, Jesse Singh, gosh, so many, Bob Keeve and others that have gone on, and it's just wonderful memories here. And see old friends here. In fact, in my eyesight here, Larry Stone, so I don't know about
Boo. Thank you for being here. We look forward to seeing your application soon. Okay, anybody else in the room here? Oh, I got wave in the back. Hey, Jeff Hare.
Thank you, President-elect. Jeff Hare, Real Estate Mediation. I'm going to introduce Mae Venveer, Brian's kin, who has joined us here. She's getting ready to go back to San Jose State. So welcome her here for the day.
Welcome. Okay, any other guests I might have missed? Nice guest count today, you guys. Thanks for bringing friends and family here today. All done? All righty, here we go. All right, I want to bring up Dave Davis for our foundation update. Yay, Dave.
Need my glasses. Good afternoon, everybody. We're going to talk about foundation update, just real briefly. So far, we have 38% of you that are participating. We could sure use more. Long way to get to 100, and we're looking for every Rotarian every year. The ask is $400, and of that $400, $100 goes to the International Foundation. The rest stays right here, and even some of that foundation money comes back to us. So please jump on board. It's time, and this is the last appeal, so you're off the hook when you give. Okay, thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Dave. 38%. I think we could do better. Do you think we could do better? Can we do better by next week and make a really big double-digit percentage announcement in time for the holiday luncheon? That's actually a question for all y'all, because he and I have our green stickers. That was a smattering of a pause at best. Could we have a better double-digit percentage return by next week at the holiday luncheon? Yay! All righty. Don't forget, we gave over $200,000 to community beneficiaries right here in this valley in our local neighborhoods here. So it matters very much. Okay, on to next important business, which is slide number 10. All right. Today, we hold our club's annual meeting to elect members to the foundation board, then the club board, and to choose our president-elect nominee. This annual meeting is required by our bylaws, which also spell out the composition of each nominating committee. All right, and then first up, representing the foundation nominating committee, is foundation president, Dave Davis, you're back.
Yes. Okay. Okay, the foundation nominating committee are the folks that you see on the screen, myself, Audrey, Shashir, President Karen, President-elect Heather, and Darren Sparks, our able club treasurer. And who we're nominating for a 2-year term, basically it's a new 2-year term they're renewing, is they're continuing on is Matt Breaker, myself, Shashir, and Audrey.
Are there any foundation board nominations from the floor? Seeing none. Is anyone opposed? Seeing none. This is a long-standing tradition, folks. These nominees are unanimously re-elected to a 2-year term for 2024-2026. Wonderful. And thank you for your service. Great. All righty. Let's see now. Dave, I give it back to you at this point in time.
Okay, now we're going to elect a couple of new trustees, and we're also going to say goodbye to a couple of people. 2 trustees are stepping down. One is Clarence Stone. He's completing his term. And then Joe Quillisi is also stepping down, effective at the end of the year. So the new trustee nominees are Janica Clem and Jason Stein.
All right, are there any foundation board nominations from the floor? Seeing none. Is anyone opposed? Seeing none, I'm not even going to look. Janica Clem and Jason Stein are elected as new foundation trustees to serve 2-year terms for 2024 to 2026. Congratulations. Give us a wave. Yay. Fantastic. All right.
And as I mentioned, these are our outgoing trustees. Thank you, gentlemen. Okay, our nominee for president of the foundation for 24-25, and actually it's 24-26 because it's a 2-year term, is Audrey Fox. And then in the vice president chairs is Scott Payne for grants, vice president of grants, and Ginger Sotelo, vice president of finance, and those are 1-year terms.
Okay. Are there any nominations from the floor? Seeing none, you see how this goes? Is anyone opposed? No. Seeing none? Audrey, Scott, and Ginger are unanimously elected. Congratulations. And thank you, Audrey and Shashir, for serving as VPs this year. And let's thank the trustees for their service. And thank you, Dave, for serving as foundation president. Right. Right. And here's your 2024-25 Foundation Board of Trustees. Okay, next up is President-elect Fernando Zazueta. Fernando? Karen is so much better about making sure we're all lined up to the left. I'm a little bit, I got to learn from Karen a bit here. Welcome, my friend.
Hello, President-elect, or elect?
Just elect.
Just elect, plain.
Yeah, no stuttering.
Hello, everyone. I'm happy to announce that for the treasurer's role, we've been well served by Rotarian, as we've heard, CPA Darren Sparks, and he's graciously and generously, and I say that word generously because it saves us a ton of money, he's agreed to serve another term as treasurer. So, let's show Darren how much we appreciate that he's willing to donate his professional skills to all of us. Thank you, Darren. And now in my last official function as a past president, please note this is, you start off as a president-elect, then president-elect, then president, and then you keep going until this last function here. As chair of the club's nominating committee, and on behalf of its members, Steve Borkenhagen, Sal Pizarro, Karen Philbrick, Tim Gill, Heather Lerner, Terry Chapman, Helen Lambert, and Mike Fulton, today I'm honored to make the following announcements which will call for your vote, just like she just ran through that voting. Please note that other than meeting the required 3-year minimum requirement for membership in our club, proposed nominees are not chosen based upon how long they've been a member. No, we look at how much they were involved as committee chairs or as committee members in helping and promoting our Rotary function. All nominees have shown, of course, leadership qualities and have been very involved in Rotary as committee chairs or as active members of the respective committees. The nominations committee considered a rather large number of individuals and discussed their respective qualities and service and type of their personality and so on, a lot of different aspects of their identity, in a process that thoroughly vetted each particular proposed nominee. And so we propose to serve on our club's board of directors, and we stagger this 3 years. Every year we choose a third of the membership so that the remaining 2/3 continue the institutional memory of our club. So if approved by you today, they will serve 3 years beginning on July 1, 2024. The first nominee has been a club member since 2017 and has actively served the club and community and has worked on several international service projects and currently serves as co-chair of the International Service, Refugee Support, Rotary Climate Action, and San Jose State University's Veterans Committees. Drum roll, please, John. Drum rolls, please, Rotary. Click for your photo and then click the name of and welcome our Sandra Gill. Please stand, Sandra. Sandra, please stand. You have to stand. Yes, there you go. And that's a process we'll follow for the next 3 nominees. The next nominee has been a club member since 2020, is part of the Pause Committee, chaired our club's Thanksgiving program, and will carry on the legacy of one of our club's most esteemed and beloved members. Drum roll, please. Click for welcome and thank Lenore Keeve. Lenore, please stand. Well, you ought to stay standing so people can see you. The next nominee has been a club member since 2019 and played a very critical and important role in last year's extremely successful Rotary Large Club event. That was the conference that showcases our club, and it blew everybody else out of the water because I went to the one in Chattanooga and I thought that was very nice, but this thing was over the top. So please, drum roll, please. And welcome and thank Sarju Naran. I don't know if Sarju is here today. He's not?
No, we're just...
Hurry it up? Is that what you're saying? I'm sorry, but as past president in my last action, I cannot hurry this. I'm sorry. The next nominee has been a club member since 2009 and is the co-chair of the Military Care Committee, which organizes our participation in San Jose's Veterans Day Parade and San Jose State University's Veterans Committee, and was especially effective in resurrecting the Fish Committee. So, drum roll, please. Catherine Tompkinson. Let's say thank you to Tompkinson. I think she's in Hawaii right now. So now you got to say, are there any other nominees?
Are there any nominees? Seeing none. All in favor? Unanimous! Yay!
He's supposed to say, congratulations, you're joining a great group.
You did that, though.
No, that's you.
But you did so great.
No. No. Okay, so now you go and thank.
Oh, this part.
You didn't read that?
No, that part of my script got cut off.
She's
Thank
new,
you.
she's new.
So new. All right. All right. Finally, I am pleased to, and oh no, that's it. No, we thank Terry Chapman, Mike Fulton, Tim Gill, and Helen Lambert, who will end their 3-year term in June. And thank you, Fernanda, for sharing your script with me. Thank you. Go for it.
Okay, finally, the main event. I'm pleased to announce the nominating committee's recommendation for president-elect, who will serve as president of the Rotary Club of San Jose from July 1, 2025 to June 30th, 2026. So they get lots of time to get ready for what comes next. This Rotarian was sponsored by past President Karen Sinunutari, who served us so ably 2 moments ago, or 2 terms ago. Worked closely with this person. This nominee has chaired the culinary and hospitality, fun and friendship, golf committees, is currently co-chair of the Red Badge Committee, was a member of our contributions committee, and because having so much spare time, also serves as the Rotary Foundation trustee. So there's no room for slackers here. With great pleasure and honor, on behalf of this year's nominating committee, I present the nomination for our 2025-26 Club President-elect. Drum roll, please. Thank you, Matt Breaker.
Come on up, Matt Breaker. Any nominations from the floor? Seeing none. Unanimously approved. Walk on up here, Matt Breaker. Give us a few words. Woo.
All righty. First of all, I just got to say, great music. That was Boogie Shoes. I got my Boogie Shoes on. I'm ready to go. I just want to say I'm honored, I'm humbled, and I'm also really excited. I think we're going to have a lot of fun together. I absolutely love this club. I love the members. I love our mission, and I love the incredible work that we do in the community and the world. And I'm so proud to be a part of that. And I'm ready, and all I can say is, let's do this. All right.
Wonderful, wonderful news. We're a little bit behind on our agenda. This important meeting where we do our elections takes a little bit more time, but I do want to give a few minutes for Ring the Bell before we move on to our formal program. Red Badgers with microphones, traveling microphones. We've got Steve Ellenberg right over there who stood up right away. Can we get a microphone over to Steve Ellenberg? Johnny, that's you, yay. All right, let's go quickly here. Steve, ring that bell for me. Nope.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So I was only planning to ring the bell for one thing, but I got to ring the bell to a recipient of the Sandy Ellenberg Humanitarian Award for his great work prosecuting some jail guards that murdered an inmate, one of the great legal victories of all time. So I'm going to ring the bell 3 times for Matt, our new president-elect. Always love to have lawyers assume high places here at Rotary. And I'm going to ring the bell, so this will bring me up to 5 rings. 2 times, Hopkins and Carly announced its new partners, and one of our Rotarians, Erica Gassaway, was elevated to partner at Hopkins Carly, and I'm pleased to announce that another 2 times.
Wonderful. Thank you for those generous 5 rings. We've got John Ball over here.
Okay, 5 rings for Matt Breaker. I really appreciate who you are and what you do, and great job.
A little aggressive on that bell ring. Okay, yes, please.
Robert Massey, Symphony San Jose, and I would like to ring the bell twice in honor of our guest conductors for this weekend's Christmas at the California. Carl Salas will be leading the orchestra on Saturday night.
Wow.
And on Sunday, Marianne Salas will be conducting. So one each for them.
All right. Jim.
I'd like to ring the bell 3 times. Once because my daughter Adrian is expecting and due in March.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Once because my daughter and her husband just moved into a new house, and that was great. And once because this week is my 30th anniversary as a member of Rotary.
Wonderful. So much beauty to celebrate. Matt, I think, is standing up next. Oh, nope, Tim. We'll go Tim first.
I want to ring the bell 2 times for my daughter Jacqueline Gill, who just successfully completed her second New York City Marathon and improved her time by 22 minutes. So this
Oh
is
my
Jacqueline
gosh.
Gill. 2 rings.
Wonderful. You're like a ring the bell elect over there, Matt. I've got someone pointing at me. Who am I pointing at over here? Oh, Karen. Hi, Karen. Or is it, no, Sean?
No, actually,
Sean first.
Sean Cottle. Thank you, Heather.
You look so much like Karen. Give us good news, Sean.
What are you trying to say? I'd like to ring the bell once because my daughter, Emily Cottle, or actually Emily Omenson, has accepted a position as an assistant professor of political science at the University of Mississippi, Ole Miss.
Wonderful. Thank you. Okay, now we've got the microphone elect, who's now got the microphone. Matt.
Hello. Can you hear me?
President-elect Heather, I'd like to ring the bell twice. First for my sister, Audrey, who's going to be serving as foundation president, and at the same time I'm serving as club president. Doesn't get any better than that.
All in the family.
And 2, on behalf of this amazing club, I'm really also wanted to say again how excited I am to serve as president. So
We're so excited. Thank you. Hey. We still have Bunny standing right over there. Oh, I think Meg Karen's next. Sorry, Karen, hi. You look so much like Sean.
I know. Maybe he just acts like a Karen. Kidding. Oh, I'm just kidding. I'm Karen. I'm totally kidding. I don't even know him. Anyway, I want to keep it going. And 1 ring for Matt Breaker, 1 for Audrey Fox. Good job, well deserved.
Okay, is that 2 rings? 1. Thank you. Bunny.
President-elect Heather, as chair of Symphony San Jose, I would be remiss not to share in Robert's excitement about having Marianne and Carol Salas conduct this weekend. Invite you all to come and cheer them on. I think they're going to do a great job. 2
Is that
rings.
2 rings? Thank you. Probably one of them's for Carl's jacket. Carl, finish this up. You're the last one.
Okay, I think 3 rings. One is I want to make sure everyone knows I have absolutely no talent. This was just complete. It's nothing to do with that. So that's one.
We don't have a secretary, so we're not going to note that.
2, there's someone at our table, someone even on my own table who has never been to the Museum of Quilts, and it's the greatest thing in San Jose. It's really cool. And just 1 ring for the Museum of Quilts. It's just wonderful.
You got it. Thank you.
And then Heather, you're doing a good job today. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Leslie, will you permit? We've got 2 more people. Thank you. Leslie, we've got 2 more people standing. Can I let them go? All right. Thank you so much. We've got Tom Bondi and then Audrey Fox, and we're going to wrap it up.
Hi, President-elect Tom Bondi. I want to ring the bell twice. Once for remembering Ken Weiner as he's continuing to improve at Mission Rehabilitation Center. And second, for my father-in-law, Vic Corsilia, who's in good health and has been visiting him every day.
Wonderful. Okay, Audrey, finish us up.
Okay, President-elect, I am going to ring the bell 2 times. Once for our parents, because I hope they're watching and super excited. And second of all, for Matt Breaker. He was literally made for this position. And I am so excited for him and for all of us.
Wonderful.
I'm just taking the past president's prerogative to say 1 ring because this is my last official act. Thank you.
Thank you, Fernando. Thanks so much for letting me go just a smidge over. It's all for the good of the foundation. Leslie's like, wrap it up, learner. Okay. A quick reminder that next week is the holiday luncheon. We have about 5 seats open up. We are sold out, but I just heard we have 5 seats open up. If you want one of those 5 seats, you have to let us know by noon tomorrow. There are no more ads or drops as of noon tomorrow. Christmas in the Park event is December 14th, and then we are dark on December 20th and December 27th. So next week is our last meeting. Unless you didn't sign up for the luncheon, then this is your last meeting. And then the first meeting of the year is January 3rd. Larry Stone, make your way up here, please. Oh, look, he follows directions. I love it. You're making me look good. Thank you, Larry. Here we go.
All right. You guys feel better now? Get all that aggression out? You're welcome. Well, today's speaker is Dr. Gloria Duffy. She's truly someone who needs very little introduction, especially since she regularly attends our meetings and other Rotary events. Gloria has had a distinguished career in government, particularly in the area of defense and foreign policy. She was the Deputy Assistant of Defense and Special Coordinator for Cooperative Threat Reduction, overseeing the dismantling of nuclear weapons and delivery systems in the former Soviet Union. She has continued to champion conflict resolution and equity throughout her career, including her role as President and CEO of the Commonwealth Club, a position she has held since 1996. Since leaving government, she has worked with a range of outside organizations dealing with international security and threat reduction. Recently, she served on the Threat Assessment Commission, which earlier this year completed an extensive report for the President and Congress on the current threats to the United States and the world. Locally, she serves as CEO of the Dearden family. Please join me in welcoming Gloria Duffy. Well, let me tell you about my office here and how fair and equitable we are in doing. Welcome, Gloria Duffy.
Thank you, Larry. Sorry about that. Let's see here. Hi, everybody. How's everyone today? So nice to be with a group, most of whom I know, thanks to my wonderful husband Rod's longtime membership. I'm going to cram a lot into a few minutes here from what's usually a longer presentation, and leave some time for questions. So in February of 2022, I got one of those phone calls on my cell phone. Do you have a moment for the speaker? And I thought, the speaker? I was thinking, the speaker on my phone? Well, Nancy came on the phone, and I soon realized what speaker it was. And Speaker Pelosi told me that a commission had been set up by Congress in December of 2021 in the Annual Defense Authorization Act to review the strategic posture of the United States and report to the President and the Congress on our overall security, the threats facing the United States, that means military and national security threats, and how well we were positioned to confront them and what needed to be done to improve our posture and our position. She asked me if I would serve as her appointee, 12 members on the commission, all former officials of the U.S. government, having served in various positions and agencies, the legislative branch, the executive branch, Department of Energy, Department of Defense, congressional staff positions, and members of Congress with experience on defense. None of us could be currently serving officials. Turned out to be 6 women and 6 men, 6 notional Democrats and 6 notional Republicans. We were never asked for our party affiliation, but the presumption is, depending on who appointed us, what that was. The appointing authorities were the chair and vice chair of the House and Senate Armed Services Committees and the 4 leaders of Congress, majority, minority leaders, speaker, et cetera, and of both houses. So I was the first appointee. Speaker Pelosi got busy more quickly than the other appointers. And After a few months of going through the renewal and refresh and upgrading in some cases of our security clearances, we also had to have security clearances already. Have worked with classified material in the past and worked responsibly with it, obviously. I've had my clearances now for 47 years, since I started as a young researcher at the RAND Corporation when I was 23, working on a Department of Energy classified project. And so it took a few months for the commission to get stood up and get going. It was actually spring, summer of last year by the time everyone was cleared to go forward to serve. And we were given a long list of matters to review. And I'm going to go over a few of those in a moment. Way too long and way too detailed to go into in depth here. There had been one previous commission of this sort in 2008-2009. It was chaired by Bill Perry, my former boss, and I think known to this group, former Secretary of Defense. Vice chair was James Schlesinger, another former Secretary of Defense, Republican-Democrat duo. As in our case, our chair was and is, we are still impaneled at the moment, Dr. Madeleine Creedon, former Deputy Director of the National Nuclear Security Administration. That is the agency of the Department of Energy that manages and our nuclear weapons, produces, manages, and deploys our nuclear weapons as used by our defense forces. But it's the Department of Energy that has control over the actual weapons. She's an attorney who had also served as a counsel to one of the Congressional Defense Committees and had also Assistant Secretary of Defense for nuclear missile defense and other related topics. Our vice chair was and is Senator John Kyle, moderate, one terrific Republican from Arizona, served for 18 years in the Senate, also served in the House of Representatives, and was so distinguished that when Senator McCain died, he was appointed by the governor of Arizona, having retired by then, to fill the rest of Senator McCain's term. And the other members, again, folks who had served everywhere from the Defense Department to congressional staffs. My background is I served in the Clinton administration with the very happy and productive task of convincing the former Soviet countries to dismantle the nuclear, chemical, and biological weapons on their territory, focusing on the nuclear weapons that were left behind on the territory of several countries when the Soviet Union disintegrated. I served there in the mid-90s, and we were able to accomplish an amazing feat as we look back on it now, getting rid of 7,000 nuclear weapons targeted at us in Russia, Ukraine, Belarus, and Kazakhstan. I understand that the idea for an independent commission like this originated with Ellen Tauscher, longtime member of Congress from the East Bay. Her idea was the Defense Department does threat assessments and posture reviews every year or two. She felt that it would be good to have an outside commission, an independent commission, to advise Congress and the President and to survey the situation and give independent advice. So the prior commission, 2008-2009, produced its report, and it was a very different environment than it is today. 2007, we concluded our last nuclear arms control treaty with Russia. It was sort of the coda to the happier period in which I served, in which we were able to elicit cooperation from Russia and the other former Soviet countries. We established limits on strategic nuclear weapons with Russia of 1,550 strategic nuclear weapons apiece in 2007. When the prior commission reported, the Perry-Schlesinger Commission in 2008-2009, they were very optimistic. They, in fact, talked in their report about progress towards a world without nuclear weapons. and in which there would be continued progress, continued negotiations. Their report and recommendations were predicated on some actions to not build any more nuclear weapons for the U.S., but to improve them, maintain them, and take certain steps to deploy some new systems to carry them, to replace legacy systems that had been in place for decades and that were aging out. So fast forward 14 years, and we are in 2022, and there's a new commission. And we take a new look at the situation. And I'll go through a few slides here. We had extensive intelligence briefings. We were supported by a budgetary appropriation and a think tank in Washington called the Institute for Defense Analyses organized our meetings, our briefings, site visits, and other activities, and facilitated the group in every way. The commissioners were in charge of what we said, our findings, our recommendations, but IDA facilitated. We heard extensive intelligence briefings from throughout the U.S. government. We did some site visits. We visited Los Alamos, which is where nuclear weapons are produced, or in this case, modernized for the U.S. I'm sorry, something happened here too. There we go. We also visited STRATCOM, formerly known as the Strategic Air Command, outside of Omaha, and a couple of other commands, and had very thorough briefings by the leadership of the U.S. defense enterprise, both the production or the modernization of nuclear weapons. We're not producing any new ones, but we are upgrading those we have. And we also heard from the service chiefs, STRATCOM, SpaceCom, regional commands of the U.S. military forces. This was not the Nuclear Posture Commission. It was the Strategic Posture Commission. And we were asked to look at threats of all kinds at a strategic level. That is, not individual terrorist threats or particular smaller threats, but what concerns us and threatens us as a country at the macro level. So, nuclear weapons, conventional forces, relationships with our allies, cybersecurity, new technologies like AI, air-breathing systems, remote systems, a whole list of new technologies. And the question is, the question was, and again, I will, let's see if we're working here. I'm not going to go into detail. This is actually the list of our responsibilities to examine. And I have put on each table just the executive summary of our report. Our report was delivered to Congress on October 12th. And we are still, again, serving as a commission. We are out doing, we're doing testimony, we're doing public education, spreading around the results of the report. This is the actual report. It's quite long, 145 densely packed pages, 131 findings and recommendations, I believe. And, but you have the executive summary, which includes the list of findings and recommendations on your table, and I'm happy to provide more copies, or you can make copies as you wish. So I won't go over it in great detail. In an appendix to the report and in the enabling legislation, it lists all of the many, many questions we were asked to answer. You see some here. Military capabilities and force structure needed to support our nuclear weapons strategy. Nuclear, non-nuclear, non-kinetic weapons, description and assessment of our nuclear infrastructure, that is, the Los Alamos complex that still, if you've seen the movie Oppenheimer, it still does what was initiated in those days, which is there are production lines there that produce the upgraded components for our nuclear forces. Missile defenses, cyber defense, role of space systems, non-proliferation programs, our efforts to prevent other countries from getting nuclear weapons, nuclear arms control, our allies, our relationship with our allies. So, in a nutshell, our findings. To those who work in the national security field, the way we think about our strategic posture and threats to us is that capabilities plus intentions equal threat. So we look at other countries and other groups. What are their intentions, their stated policies, their behavior, and what are their capabilities to undertake actions threatening to us, in some cases, to pursue their intentions. We saw a far different, and I'm sorry that this is a downer, we saw a far different picture today than the first commission saw in 2008, 2009. We saw a great increase in the threat environment to the U.S. Russia being the main case, we have always prepared and protected against Russia. We have had, as you know, a nuclear standoff, nuclear deterrence, nuclear balance with them, as well as significant conventional forces, assistance to our allies, membership in NATO. Those are all historically part of our way of dealing with Russia and its allies. We see, in terms of intentions, we see Russian behavior in Ukraine, which is unprovoked and terrible in terms of the impact of their neighboring country, and unjustified in any way. And somewhat irrationally, Russia seems inclined to throw whatever forces and capabilities it can against Russia, and concoct false narratives about Ukraine and their own behavior in Ukraine. We see Russia modernizing its military forces, and particularly its nuclear forces, some of which was expected after the 2007 New START Treaty, but some of which has gone in more extreme directions than we expected. The great news here, the big piece of new information, is what's called we call the two nuclear peer environment. China has always had what's called a minimum deterrent, 400 or 500 strategic nuclear weapons that we considered, from a strategic standpoint, a lesser included threat with Russia. That is, it didn't fundamentally change the deterrence calculation for the U.S. Our 1,550 nuclear weapons were thought to be enough to deter a slight additional threat from China, in addition to the main purpose, which is to deter Russia from ever attacking us, since we would be able to retaliate at a level that they wouldn't want to incur. China has embarked on a major strategic nuclear weapons buildup. They are adding, at a very rapid rate, 1,000 additional strategic nuclear weapons to make them a nuclear peer of both the United States and Russia. Am I getting close? I do.
Okay, we've got to wrap up then. We'll have like 2 minutes for questions.
Okay. This presents, especially since Russia and China have declared their friendship, I think it's their undying friendship at the moment, this presents a real challenge for the U.S. It's a numbers challenge for us. It could be addressed or remedied by different strategies, different targeting policies, And of course, we always try to engage in arms control and dialogue and discussion to reduce the threat to us. But it is a very different environment. Our national security structure is not well prepared to meet this challenge. That includes the nuclear infrastructure that modernizes and maintains our nuclear weapons. We have some supply chain and workforce issues and other issues there that are very significant. And we are also behind schedule in procuring and deploying a new bomber, new submarines, new delivery vehicles for the nuclear weapons. So I see I am being prodded here, so let me end it there then. And of course, there are many, I'm sure there are questions, and happy to go off in any direction.
Right here in the front, you can drop down there. Anybody ready? Real quickly. Go for it.
How close, Dr. Duffy, first, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you, Arthur.
How close is Iran to having a nuclear capability, and what do you think the United States should do about it now?
From a strategic perspective, we have the capability, as do our allies, to respond. Iran is close, quite close, quite close. But it is not a threat on the level of magnitude of what I'm talking about here. So it's a threat, but can be handled.
Gloria, we have a question right here.
Hi.
Dr. Duffy, Tim Hagstrom.
Hi, Tim.
Thank you for your remarks. Could you just define or elaborate the phrase modernize nuclear weapons? What does that mean? I confess that my son-in-law is a scientist at Los Alamos, and he won't tell me anything. So
There are some limitations there. It's essentially modernizing the components of the existing weapons. Our chair was part of a couple of talks we did yesterday, and she told the story of having been presented with a vacuum tube from one of our nuclear weapons assemblies, which had just been replaced by circuit boards.
Mark.
Thank you very much for your presentation. I would be a bit remiss if I didn't mention the importance of climate change as a source of threat. Unfortunately, it seems like your commission didn't really look at that. But on the other side, you did look at technology, and it seems to me the intentional engagement in a nuclear confrontation is an issue, but perhaps, given the turn capacity, unlikely. But the unintentional engagement or the development of automatic weapons that might directly on their own decide it's an appropriate response to whatever threat they perceive seems like a higher risk. And I wonder what your commission talked about and did on that point.
Thank you. First, on climate change, we did discuss other strategic threats to the U.S. like climate change. There are other commissions and bodies handling that, so we tried to stay in our lane as assigned by Congress. But a number of us did feel there is a major strategic threat from climate change. And let me just mention, some of our military facilities are actually threatened by climate change. There are some on an island in the Pacific that is being inundated by sea level rise. So it can be very specific, a very specific threat. We did mention the need for, in dealing with defense, for unity in our country. So we all thought the type of divisiveness and polarization that we see is also a threat. So we are very happy that our report was a consensus report with people from a variety of political alignments. We felt that was very important to sort of model that when it comes to some issues, we have to work together. With regard to unintended consequences, we also paid some attention to the adaptation of our military forces to new technologies. I was happy to arrange a briefing for us with a meeting with Eric Schmidt from Google and Alphabet, and he has done some really important writing on a topic he calls innovation power and the need to integrate cutting-edge technologies into our military forces to maintain our edge. So again, there are other commissions. He actually chaired a commission on AI and defense and so on. So we tried to stay in our lane, but your concerns are well-founded.
Fantastic. Final question, Tim.
Yes, hi, good afternoon, Tim Gill here. I just, did your commission have any specific recommendations what the United States needs to do? It's just some bullet points on that. And also, how is AI going to affect the future of the United States and our defensive capabilities?
We had, I believe, 31 recommendations, and again, happy to provide the list, or you can find it online. Our report is online from the House Armed Services Committee, the Institute for Defense Analyses, and in congressional testimony and elsewhere. The largest recommendation, I think, is we need an all-of-government effort to redress this situation. That includes the nuclear complex, that includes the production of weapon systems, it includes the supply chain issues. Every agency, all the national security agencies need to cooperate. We also have a big issue with funding for our defense budget. The congressional committees responsible for funding our defense budget are operating through continuing resolutions. They are unable to agree on appropriations for our defense budget. And so every couple months, they have another continuing resolution to just fund at the same level as the past year without really responding to the administration and the Defense Department's specific requests. That situation has to be redressed. So there are many, many recommendations, but I will say that is one of the largest, an all-of-government effort to redress the situation.
Gloria, fantastic. Everyone, Gloria, plus, before you go, absolutely. We have made a gift in your name to Loaves and Fishes Photography Committee. I think we take a little photo here, right? All righty. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Gloria. Boy, that is hard to be a timekeeper on that absolutely riveting topic. I'm going to switch mics. How about that? Great. I want to leave you with these final thoughts. I'm going to go from nuclear to the Festival of Lights. This week, tomorrow night, is the first night that we light our candles for Hanukkah, and I want to remind you all that all the darkness in the world cannot extinguish that candle. And if you are that candle, go shine your little light, and remember that if you are the candle, all you see around you is darkness. Don't let that deter you. Have a wonderful week. We are adjourned.